Welcome to the daily Jerry Anderson podcast, where the presenter overcomes the many obstacles placed in his path by coitus interruptus to finally tell the story which the presenter accepts does not paint him in the best light. He is nothing if not honest.
You're sitting there and all you want to do is close your eyes and sleep. And you don't want to talk to anyone. And you don't want anyone to sit beside you. You're not being antisocial. Just as a rare occasion this would happen to me. And it's happened to Ginger as well.
Yeah.
And I was saying, see, the mistake that you make is when you're riding along on the bus, you have a tendency to look at every passenger that comes on.
That's what you do. You have nothing else to do.
You look at them, you see, and therefore you may make eye contact with someone that you know, or half know, or nearly know, an acquaintance.
And they might interpret that as a signal for them to sit down beside you, and maybe you're going to Dublin or something.
And you don't know their name, and you know them. Mm-hmm. And you don't know, The
best thing is to ignore them.
So the best thing is to look out the window every time the bus stops. Look out the window.
Do you know
that's if you don't want company.
I don't want company.
You may
either.
want company. You understand?
Do you know the worst thing ever happened to me? And I'm sorry. And if the woman is listening, I apologise from the bottom of my heart. I did something unconsciously, and I don't know why I did it, and I don't realise I did it. But now that I realise what I did, I wish I hadn't done it.
When did you do it?
Not too long ago. Sometimes I take the express bus from Derry to Strug City to Belfast.
Yes.
Sometimes I do that. Anyway, I don't do it sometimes because I know it's packed sometimes. It gets a wee bit rough. And they turn on the heat and it's 100 degrees.
Oh, I love the heat.
No, and you go up and you say to the guy, can you turn down there? I'm
no,
sorry.
Don't.
No, you go down to the guy and say, listen, any chance of turning that down a bit? Oh, I'm sorry, it's stuck. Sorry. Anyway, the bus was packed.
You wouldn't go up and complain, would you?
No, I only did that once because it was like 120 degrees.
Oh,
and I really did think I was going to die.
No,
I really did think. And the people around me were going, jeez.
No, it's worse
no,
than
they were going.
I see a draft.
No, and one of them said, a woman said to me, she said, is there any way can you do anything here? So
I don't think she did. That's a lie.
She did. No, she did.
A lie.
It's not a lie.
It's a lie.
I went up to the bus conductor and I said, listen, it's very, very hot down there. I don't want to be complaining, but a couple of women down there.
That's a lie.
Why do you
There's
always
so
say
many
that's a lie?
lies because if, as Judge Judy says, if it doesn't sound right, it's not right.
You should stop watching Judge Judy. Do you want me to tell you what I did with the woman?
There's no way you walked up a bus to a bus driver. No way in the wide world.
I want anyone who's on that. I want anyone
first.
I sat naked before that and nobody noticed, so I walked up. What I'm going to tell you now is that I did do that, and if anybody was on that bus and was listening, I challenge them to ring this programme now and corroborate that story.
I want the bus driver to come forward.
If the bus driver is there, ask him to ring.
When did this happen?
No, I would say maybe a couple of months ago. But this is not the story I was going to tell you.
All right, go ahead. Right.
This is the story that I'm going to tell you. I'm not proud of this. I happened to be sitting on a window seat and the seat beside me was empty, right? Now, it's a terrible thing to do, but sometimes if I've got a little bag, I put it on the seat beside me so that people coming along will say, oh, there must be somebody sitting there, and they don't automatically sit down. The reason I put the bag there is because I don't want anybody to sit beside me because I want to stretch my legs out. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Stretch your legs out across
to the left.
Seat. You can't.
Yes, you can.
Oh, you
can put your legs. You can put your legs apart.
Not.
You're so argumentative and horrible today. There's a lot of hate in you today.
There's not.
There is. It's full of hate and bile.
No.
Anyway, people kept coming on.
I turned over a new leaf in my bed last night.
You should try it. A new sheet. Anyway, there was people catching. It's just her.
I was dreaming last night I was 12.
Will you let...
Sorry,
what?
Carry on. No, I'll come back to it.
You were dreaming that you were 12?
Aye. And I had a dog. It was a magic dog. And it made motorbikes fly in the air. And, you know, it was a magic well. And this magic well was there. And someday, the legend had it that someone will come along and take a drink from the well. And this person will inherit these magic powers. But I was out one day with my dog. And my dog drank from the well. And my dog became the magic dog. It inherited the magic powers. And you know where it was? Down beside your house. The magic well was down beside where you used to live. It was down in Queen Street. And the magic well, I was playing in and around Queen Street and Lower Clarendon Street, where you worked, where your hut was, where your famous hut was.
God bless my hut.
Right? And in at the back of Clarendon Street, the magic well was there. And my dog went in and drank from the magic well. But why was I only 12 in my dream? And my dog could make motorbikes fly in the air. And it made me a very good long-distance jumper. What do you call it? A long jump. And I jumped one day when I was 12, 22 foot.
Listen, I just saw in the paper there's these cheap holidays to Spain. You can have a 2-week break, during the winter. That's what you need, Harry Potter. A little break. Relax. I think you're too stressed.
Why was it only 12?
I don't know.
And why was it down round your way?
I don't know.
Anyway, back to your window, your bag.
I'm sitting there on the bus. I've got my bag in the seat beside me so that nobody will sit down. I watch people coming on the bus. It hasn't left the station yet. The bus is filling rapidly.
Are we here in Stroke City?
We are.
All right.
The bus is filling rapidly. Right. And I realise there's only 2 more seats left in the bus.
Do you check the clock, the Guildhall clock, to see if he's on time?
I have a watch.
So no, you have not?
No, but I have a thing with the clock in it. What's it called? Mobile phone.
But you're sitting beside the Guildhall. I always check the Guildhall to see if he pulls out in time.
People don't know what you're talking about. Will you stop?
There's a clock, a Guildhall clock. The bus depot is beside the Guildhall.
Well, you see, you didn't explain that.
All right, then Guildhall. And I always watch if we're going out the 5 o'clock bus to see if he's pulling out on time. And then you always look to see if there's anyone running to catch the bus.
Okay.
Because if there was someone running to catch the bus, I think I would have a tendency to say to the driver, "There's a woman coming. Could you wait?"
Anyway, I'm sitting there and the bag is beside me, and I notice the bus filling rapidly. And I notice there are only 2 seats left in the entire bus, one up at the front, beside another guy.
That's the driver's seat.
No, beside another guy who's behind the driver. And he has no bag in his seat.
That's
so I say,
the next bus.
Worst seat in the bus. And I keep saying to myself, the reason why nobody sits there is because it's too obvious. You go in there, you just can't sit down in the first seat, especially if there's a guy beside you. And I said, the next person will come in, will either sit there or will sit with me. And I said, it's nearly time to go, so maybe perhaps we're going to get away with this. And maybe people will get off at Dungiven and nobody will get on then, because the students are there and they're smelly. So anyway, a man comes on and sits in the front seat. And I went, oh my God, I said, I'm the only one left with a seat beside me. So I better take the bag off the seat. Because if somebody comes in and there's no other seat, they'll say, is there anybody sitting there? And I'll say no. And it'll look very bad because I've got the bag there. So I remove the bag.
And it leads to conversation.
It leads to conversation, which is the last thing you want. And here's the thing that happened. I took the bag off, and on the bus comes a lady. What has she got with her?
A dog.
No.
A shopping trolley.
Worse than that.
Her husband.
No, worse than that.
A child.
A very, very small child, which is crying.
Oh no.
It's going. She's coming out. I went, oh my God, please don't.
Oh no.
And she looks, and the child is going. She's saying, you're all right, you're all right, you're all right, you're all right. And then I see her sitting in my seat. And I looked out the window. I pretend to be asleep and everything. You try everything. So they don't come to you. And I realised there was no point. So she came and she sat down beside me. And out of my mouth came a sentence. And I didn't realise I said it. And the sentence was, oh, for sake.
No, you said it out loud.
Yeah.
A Homer Simpson moment.
Yes. And she said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm disturbing you.
Oh.
And I went, oh, I'm terribly sorry, love. No, I was just, what can you say?
Oh.
Yes, I didn't know I said it. I went, oh, for sake.
Oh.
And she heard me. And the baby looked at me and went, bad man. Bad, cushy man. I'm not proud of that, eh? You don't like that, do you? So I had to sit with her for an hour and a half.
Did you make any conversation
Absolutely
at all?
not. She was angry the whole way. She was angry the whole way. And no, she'd move like that. And she'd move. And she was trying to make the baby cry. She was nipping it.
Nipping it, baby.
Crying. They annoy me, you see. Because I pretended to be asleep. But I realised there was no way back from that.
No.
No way back. The presenter does not normally pander to popular taste in the course of his daily offerings, but when a call comes from an Ulster exile, well, how can he refuse? He has, after all, received no help or support closer to home today. I'm going to do something now which I've never done before. I'm going to ask you to get me a copy of, and this is very difficult for me, Blueberry Hill.
Oh, I find my thrill.
Yeah. Because I want to make a big man happy.
Tell me this, and tell me no more.
Yes.
Before you go.
I'm not going anywhere.
What's Blueberry Hill about?
Is it about a man who found his thrill in Blueberry Hill? It's about where he goes with his girlfriend and he found his thrill in Blueberry Hill.
But is it about how's your father?
Is your mother still working? Yes, it is, of course. What do you think it's about?
That's what I wasn't sure.
What do you think it's about? Butterfly collecting?
No, but is that... But he
goes up Blueberry Hill.
And that's...
how's your father? Is your mother still... and he found his thrill.
Is that right?
That's enough now. There's children listening.
Yeah.
Please make a big man happy today. We live in a little village in the Languedoc area of France, and we listen to the programme religiously every morning. It makes our day. My partner, Peter Finn, hits the big 6-0 today, and I know that if he could hear Blueberry Hill, he'd be 20 again and back at Queen's University. Congratulations on your show and your brave effort at the recent marathon, but did you really have to take a holiday afterwards? Yes, I did, because my legs didn't work. Will you get that for that lady?
What?
Blueberry Hill.
It's in your core, right behind you.
I'm not going to look in there. People might see me. It's the pedigree bull breeder again, David Chambers. Oh, I'll read this.
What age is Fats Domino?
Fats Domino. Oh, do you remember that I was telling you about the greatest thing I heard? Do you remember the time of the floods in North?
Don't. That's not fair. And it's not. I don't think it's true.
It is true. I heard it on the radio.
Not the way you tell it.
I heard it on the radio.
Not the way you tell. You make it out as though.
I heard it on the radio, and I was either on Radio 1 or something, or whatever it was, in the news or Newsbeat or something like that. It wasn't a Northern Ireland thing, and it wasn't BBC Radio 4 because they wouldn't do that. And they said
it was on the news, on the national news.
The national news, yeah.
Yes,
and
I heard it on the TV.
It said the floods have receded. And the good news is that Fats Domino has been pulled from the water.
No, it didn't say that.
It did say that.
No, it did not.
Will you stop telling me I'm a liar? Recent talk of artificial insemination, or indeed artificial intelligence, has resulted in a joke being sent in amongst the bulging post bag on the presenter's desk. It's only polite to retell it. Somebody took the trouble to write it. There was a wee boy walking up the road with a cow on a halter, but when the wee boy walked past his school, the headmaster saw him, ran out, confronted him to see why he wasn't in class. The wee boy says, "The cow's in heat and I'm taking her to the bull." The headmaster snapped back, "Could your father not do it?" The wee boy says, "He could, but the bull's better at it." Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Jerry.
How are you today?
I'm fine today. You're sad. Glad to see just a wee bit of good weather, you know.
Well, the good weather is no good to me because I feel as if I'm under siege here. I'm constantly being called a liar.
Well, it could be true, Jerry.
No, it's not true because I'm sitting here pouring my heart out, telling this man things about my life, and he's saying, "That's a lie. That's a lie."
Well,
what can I do to combat this? I'm going to get another person in here.
I wish you would.
I'm going to get another person, someone who will be nice.
Well,
there's other people out there, you know.
Maybe sooner than you think.
There's people who will take... Why don't you leave?
I want to leave.
Well, leave.
You know I want to leave.
You can't afford to leave.
What do you mean I can't afford to leave? It's costing me a fortune paying the BBC. It's costing me money.
All right, leave. Get out. Get out. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.